Geology is the science that deals with the study of the Earth. It is through geology that we are able to understand how the Earth works. But not everyone is aware of this matter, and so we want you to understand geology better through this infomercial video, Geotime, the Geocide. To start off, there are many different geological hazards that occur on this Earth. But first, what are geological hazards? Geological hazards are natural events that occur in the crust of the Earth that can be very dangerous to us humans and even animals. The most common types of hazards are earthquakes, tsunamis, landslides, and volcanic eruptions. But for this video, we will only discuss 4 specific types, which are earthquakes, tsunamis, liquefaction, and sinkholes. Now let's discuss these 4 featured hazards. The first is earthquakes. Earthquakes are hazards that occur when the rocks in the Earth's crust break because of too much elastic stress, which results in the rocks releasing their stored potential energy as seismic waves. These waves eventually reach the Earth's surface, creating the disaster we know as earthquakes. Earthquakes are very destructive, especially in its epicenter, where the most violent shaking happens. The second type of hazard is a tsunami. Tsunamis are giant waves that occur as a product of earthquakes that take place in the ocean seafloor. When a converging earthquake occurs underwater, a ripple is formed which eventually grows bigger and bigger upon reaching the shoreline. Tsunamis can go far inland after hitting the coastline, which makes it one of the most deadly hazards and disasters known to man. The third hazard is liquefaction. This is an occurrence when the ground turns into a liquid state, which sinks all the objects and structures on top of it. Liquefaction is a less common hazard and can only occur in places saturated with water, such as a beach. The fourth kind of hazard for this video is sinkholes. Sinkholes are pits in the ground that form in areas where water gathers without external drainage, resulting into the ground becoming very soft and eventually leading to the disappearance of soil. Sinkholes occur because of water erosion, and especially in areas with limestone bedrock. Examples of these hazards are the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami that hit in Japan. For liquefaction, this hazard has occurred during the 1964 earthquake in Nagata, which is also in Japan. And as for sinkholes, there have been many occurrences of this hazard in Florida. Now the question is, how and why do these geological hazards occur? The answers can be found in 2 theories related to these matters: the elastic rebound theory and the plate tectonics theory. The elastic rebound theory states that stress and strain are proportionate upon the rocks, and when the rocks reach their elastic limit, they can no longer go back to its original form, causing permanent deformities in the rocks. When the rocks reach their breaking point and rupture is when earthquakes occur, as energy is released into the ground in the form of seismic waves, allowing this natural hazard to happen upon the Earth's surface. As for the plate tectonic theory, this theory states that the Earth's crust is in pieces and several different plates move the Earth's crust. There are 2 types of plates, continental and oceanic. The continental plate being responsible for moving the continents, and oceanic plate for moving the ocean seafloor. There are also 3 different types of plate movements: divergent, convergent, and transform. Divergent having a pulling apart motion, convergent having a crashing motion, and transform having a sliding kind of motion. Now, how is this theory related to the geological hazards? Plate tectonics are responsible for creating earthquakes due to the plate movement. Volcanic eruptions can also occur as the plates are responsible for creating them and can trigger the volcanoes to erupt anytime. Aside from this, the movement of the oceanic plates can also cause a tsunami. The reason as to why these types of hazards occur is because of the changing nature of the Earth's crust. Now we go on to the basic safety measures for these hazards. During an earthquake, take cover under furniture such as tables and beds as to protect you from falling debris. Hold on to these while the shaking is ongoing. When the earthquake stops, immediately follow the emergency evacuation plan and exit the structure. Tips: always stay away from buildings and evacuate to a clear open area. Never panic during an earthquake and always stay calm. During a tsunami, loud warning sirens will be sounded off when the wave is spotted moving towards the coastline. These warning sirens can give people the time to take cover and go to higher ground. When a tsunami approaches, never go down to the coastline or the beach. Always take higher ground to avoid the incoming surge of the tsunami. During the event of liquefaction, run away from the liquefied ground as soon as possible and stay away from areas saturated with water during this hazard, so as to avoid sinking into the ground. In the events of sinkholes, stay away from soft ground in areas where it seems that there may already be a sinkhole formed. Also evacuate from the area when necessary to prevent serious injuries or even death. Having the knowledge of these safety measures will help you prepare for these hazards, possibly even prevent further injury and even loss of life from happening during such situations. Well, that concludes today's infomercial on geology and its hazards. We hope you learned and understood about geology better through our video, Geotime, the Geocide. And remember to always take care of yourself on this earth.